Hey, folks. It's the return of Breakfast Part 2. I'm Chris.
The Way of the Kings? Return of the Kings?
Yes.
Part 2. I'm Wendy.
And I'm Eric on the phone.
Yes.
Hopefully you can hear him through the phone.
This is what we've been reduced to. There's some major issues going on with their streaming software, unfortunately. We want to finish out the show. I understand this is not the idealist of circumstances, though you don't have to see as much of Eric. Is that right, Eric?
That is true.
Maybe this is a plus.
We're just going to do our best, and we're going to go and get through it.
All right, so let's go ahead and hop into the top 10. So this is top 10 games that are more fun than they should be. Are we going to pop that up? Is it working? Ha-ha!
Yeah.
See, we can do some things.
More or less.
So games that are more fun than they should be. My first game is Rhino Hero Super Battle. So this is a game where you are building a card tower and you're putting meeples on it and try not to knock it over. It is a kid's game. It is rated for a kid's age. It is by Haba, which makes solely kids games, and yet it's one that I really enjoy. It's just got those elements of, oh my goodness, is it gonna fall? Is it gonna fall? It's just exciting. It's very exciting. It's a good convention game.
And a plus, you can't choke on these pieces.
That's fair. They're big enough. 3+.
Is it? I don't remember. Anyway.
Actually, you can. The meeples are pretty small.
All right. Eric's up next with the number 9.
Excellent. My number 9 is a game about gladiatorial combat called Strike. But it's actually just dice in a bowl. You are going to be throwing these little dice into a bowl, and some of them pop out, they're dead, and then you're trying to match values, and you will collect those dice if you manage to match those values, and you're trying to stay alive as long as possible, and perhaps push your luck by throwing more dice into that bowl. It's a blast. It's just silly little dice chucking. It doesn't take very long at all, but people get really into it, especially if you clear the bowl, and then the next player has to throw all their dice in at once, and everybody cheers and chants. It's great. Strike. Yummy.
I love that you throw dice at other dice, trying to get the original dice to change. Not that I really think it makes much of a difference because it's all just random, but I feel better if I hit a die with another die and make a rollover.
Strategy. Strategy.
Oh, you can ask Ambi. Ambi Valdez. She'll tell you about the strategy and the mathematics behind it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, love Strike.
And the theme. The deep, intense theme.
The deep lore, yes. Number 8 here, my first pick, is Zombie Mania.
Oh, I finally just played this with you.
You did, yeah. It's a little Reiner Knizia push your luck dice game. It's not what one would call a great game by any means, but it's just a lot of fun as you're trying to roll different dice combinations to get rid of your zombies. But if you go for like harder dice combinations, you can not only get rid of the zombies off your own board, you can shove them onto other players' boards. And it's silly. I'm part of a Reiner Knizia fan club Discord group, and even the admins, they're like, this game's kind of dooky, but it's just fun for whatever it is. Zombie Mania.
It was a lot of fun. And we played it like 3 times in a row. That's how fun it was.
And you can find it sometimes for like $5 on the shelves at Barnes & Noble because clearly it...
High quality trash. As a reminder, in the chat, if you share what you think the number 1 answer will be, I get to pick that at the end. So we'll see who is the number 1. On to Trio. So Trio is a memory game where there's some cards face down in the middle, and then everyone has a hand of cards, and you're trying to get a trio of cards. You're trying to find, 3 ones to collect the ones, or 3 12s. And the kind of the hitch behind this is that you have to either ask for someone's lowest card or highest card. And so if you're looking for the triple of 10s, it's going to be a minute because we have to get rid of the 12s and the 11s in some people's hands. This is a game that I don't really love memory games, and I think I hear a lot of people say they don't like memory games, but for some reason, once you play this, it's short and it's sweet. You always play again 2, 3, 4 times, and then at some point, there's just no way to remember what is currently going on in this game because you remember all the other games that you played that night, and it makes it better instead of worse, and I don't understand why. Like, I should hate that element of it, but I love it, and I just think that it's fun. So, Trio, also known as Nana, better than it should be.
Agreed.
All right, Eric.
Well, my number 6 is a silly game called Dark Overlord. This is a storytelling, almost an RPG game. One player is sort of the ringleader, the Dark Overlord. Everybody else has a bunch of cards that are story elements, items, events, stuff in their hand. And they are trying to play them as quickly as they can, basically to get rid of all the things in their hand. But the Overlord is going to stop them and ask clarifying questions and make it more difficult for them. I think they're all minions, and the Overlord's like, why did the last caper go wrong? And you have to, sniveling and scrambling to try and get the Overlord's ire to go away. If you play it purely mechanically, it really doesn't work, because you could just, like, in one long run-on sentence, just play all your cards. But if you're playing it the way it's intended, as sort of a collaborative improv game, it is hilarious. And I have laughed so hard tears have been streaming down my face playing this at conventions, and this is all reminding me, this discussion says I need to play this again. Dark Overlord from Fantasy Flight Games, at least the edition I've got.
Will you commit now, live on air, in your clear visage, to bring this to Dice Tower East?
I mean, if you think it's really me and not an AI simulacrum of me talking to you right now, yes, I will bring this to Dice Tower East.
That's true. There is a lot of recordings of your voice. We probably really could AI the heck out of you.
If you believe that Eric is actually a Similac, or whatever he just said, then that's on you.
I don't even know if Eric is real. I mean, he could just be a robot every time I see him with an AI mind.
His battery needed to refresh. That's why we had to have these stream
he
errors.
needs to go plug himself in.
You never know.
All right, number 5 here. This one is one I just played with Tom called Sumo. It's a little trick-taking game. Sumo, the trick-taking card game, I think is what it says in the O over there, as you should do in all of the O's of board games, is just describe the game.
Yes.
This is like a 12 or 15 card deck. It's a little 2-player trick-taking game, and there's like 5 different ways to win or lose a match, which is a little surprising, I guess, for how small and slight of a game is. If you win enough tricks in a row, then you just push the other sumo wrestler out of the ring. Mm-hmm. Cool, right? But if you're against the edge of the ring and you play an offsuit 2 card, then you basically like backflip the other person out of the ring, right? You use their momentum against them. So you want to be up against the edge of the ring and then play an offsuit 2. Or if you play a 1 against a 4, then the 1 wins. If you play a 5 against a 1, or 4 against a 1 and the 4 wins, you play a 1 against the 5, the 1 wins. And some of these are just like automatically win the match. So you can win multiple tricks or win one of those weird combinations. Mm-hmm. It sounds like it's going to be convoluted, but as soon as you play it once, you're like, all right, deal out again. Let's go. It has like a little coloring sheet so you can create like a record of your wrestler. You don't have to. There's no in-game purpose for it, but you can like track all your wins and losses.
Just for fun.
Just for fun. Yeah. More fun than it should be.
There you go. That sounds like it is. More fun than it should be. All right, next on my list is Stay Cool. So this is a game where you're being asked questions by 2 people on the opposite sides of you. One you have to answer verbally. The other one you have to answer using these letter dice that you have to find the right letters and spell the word. And it sounds terrible. And I honestly was afraid to play this. I think you played it like a year and a half or 2 years before I ever played it. Because I was like, I'm going to fail this game so badly. I'm going to embarrass the heck out of myself. Because it's like trivia questions. And they're super basic trivia, but still, it just sounded awful. And it is just absolutely a blast. I love being the person in the hot seat. I love being the person asking the questions and annoying whoever's in the hot seat. And I enjoyed just watching people fall apart. It is so fun. It's such a great game. It's high stress, and I really enjoy teaching it.
And some people prefer to be in the cold seat, i.e. not participating at all.
And just pointing and laughing.
And yeah, just watching. This is one of those games that's almost as fun to watch as it is to play.
Yeah. Stay cool.
I think watching the terror in everybody's face as you explain what they need to do is part of the joy of this game.
Yes, definitely. Oh, yeah. And every round ramps up, so the terror continues. All right, Eric.
Yes. Number 3, my last selection doesn't really deserve to even be a game. It is a game called Magical Athlete. It is a roll and move game. Your goal is to reach the end of a 30 space track or a 20 space track, and you're just rolling and moving. The key, however, is that every character in the game has some sort of special ability. So when a 6 is rolled, something happens, or when you are next to someone else, you step ahead of them. And the interaction of all the characters that get drafted in a particular game is what makes this thing absolutely off the rails. It is a blast. We've done live versions of this at Dice Tower conventions. I know Tom has a version, probably the one in the library, that has a bunch of extra abilities and characters. There's a whole drafting aspect to this, so you're spending points or cash to get the characters that you think are going to have useful abilities, and then you do the race, and everyone's yelling and cheering and rooting, and chaos ensues. It doesn't deserve to be as fun as it is, but it is, and it's Magical Athlete.
I need to try this is going to sound stupid of me to say this, I need to try a normal game of this, because at one of the Dice Tower retreats, I played like a 14-player version of it, and that was probably a little too chaotic. This for like an introduction to it, right? Because someone rolled a 6, and then like 5 different abilities happen all at the same time. Someone lands on someone. When you land on that character, then this ability triggers, which triggers 4 other abilities. Basically, no one made any progress for like 40 minutes, and then one person shot to the very end in like the next die roll. So, yeah, I would try this with like, what do you recommend? Like 6 people? Like enough that it's kind of chaotic, but not too many?
I'd say 6 to 10 is probably the sweet spot for Magical Athlete.
Wow,
Okay.
that high even.
Wow.
Maybe I did have a pretty representative
typical game.
experience.
I don't know. Adding those 4 or more could have made a difference.
It might have been 20. It was a lot of us, and it was very late at night.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Late at night makes every party game better.
All right. And then lastly, here from me, at least, Tumblin dice. This. I mean, if you explained, like, hey, would you like to play a game where you roll dice, and the number that you roll on that die is how many points you get for the round? You're like, oh, no. Well, if you land over here, you get to multiply it. So you could get a 4-time multiplier on 1 or a 4-time multiplier on 6. You're like, no, still no, actually. But for whatever reason, this is just magic. The fact that you can bump each other's dice out of the way. It's like Strike, but a little more on the dexterity side of things, right? Aiming and
Well,
whatnot.
it's more aggressive towards actual people, too. Like in Strike, they're all your dice at that point when it's your turn.
Yeah.
Whereas this is like, no, I'm going to knock Chris's die off. He's going to get no points.
How dare you?
Even if I go
dare
with
you.
him, it's worth it.
And then, in spirit of what Eric said about Tom's copy of Magical Athlete in the library, our copy of Tumblin Dice has not only 4 D6s per player, but it has like an entire set of D&D dice.
Yes.
And so,
Those multipliers are ridiculous.
yeah, you're like, okay, well, I'm going to save my 2 D20s for later, but not too late because stuff gets clogged up as everyone throws down their D8s.
But they also
and their
roll
12s.
easier, so they don't stay on the board.
Yeah, exactly, right? So you gotta, it's calculus level Tumblin Dice.
And we also have like 20 people playing it at once.
Yeah,
Just walking in a circle, throwing dice down.
It's amazing. Someone's like, okay, remember, I'm the green dice with the slight sparkle sheen to it. You're the green dice that have the yellow numbers in it. Because there's only so many colors. Mm-hmm. And there's like 30 sets in there. Tom did
my goodness.
truly an amazing upgrade to it.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. All right, on to the number 1 answer. I happen to say that Jordan, I like his answer. Fairy. This is a little all-play game where you are just deciding what you're just guessing what the next card is going to be in the deck, and you're just trying to decide if it's higher or lower, the same color, or fairy. If you think the next one's going to be a fairy, and there's only 3 fairies in the whole deck. And it's so dumb, and it's so little, and it's so slight of a game, and yet there's those epic moments where someone just continues doing fairy, and then it hits, and you're like, oh my gosh, they just got 7 points.
Have you played this one, Eric?
No, I haven't. It might go on the list to try.
I think it should. I think that, yeah, if you are a degenerate gambler, then you might want to check this one out, as I know you are.
Jordan doubled down on it. He thought it was so good.
That he said it twice.
He's like, I'm sticking with it.
Twice.
So nice, I want to say it twice.
That's right. All right, well, thanks for joining us. Let's go ahead and move on to our next set of contributors.
Happy breakfast, everyone! Today I'm here to talk to you about this massive box, which is Ready, Set, Bet. This is the sort of Kickstarter high roller edition, and it's massive. It's certainly bigger than I anticipated, and a little bit heavier than I anticipated too. If you don't know what Ready, Set, Bet is, effectively it's a horse race that's sort of simulated. One player can be rolling the dice, and that's going to be moving these horses along. You can also do an app, but I personally really like rolling for the horses. The most things, the core of it is, do you think, which of the horses do you think is going to win? Place, which is first or second, or show, which is first, second or third. Yes, there's other bids out there, but if you just wanted to stick to those for a play, you could, but the rest are like, I think number 7's going to beat number 10. I just really love the atmosphere and the sort of quirky bets that go on, and people are bidding really quick, because once one of those bidding spaces is gone, no one else can go on it. So all of a sudden, people are like, oh, 10's taken a lead, I'm going to bet on it. And they're all scrambling to put a bid down on 10. And then it maybe doesn't even win because another horse has been rolled a lot and has pipped it to the post. So you get these cheers, these groans. And what a fun experience it is. I don't have too many games in the collection that work with a big player count, so I'm very happy to have added Ready, Set, Bet to my actual collection for those game nights where we have probably 4, 5, 6 people to be bidding and betting. I think it's a real hoot to actually play. I've really enjoyed it. That's Ready, Set, Bet. Let me know what you think of it in the comment section below, and enjoy the rest of your breakfast.
This game takes you back to the 17th century Amsterdam, when the city flourished as a center for world trade. If that doesn't get you excited for a game, I don't know what will. Beard here from Rolling with the Beard, and I love talking about games with interesting or great components. This week's game is probably an older, lesser known Reiner Knizia game, so let's hop into the Wayback Machine and go back to 1999. In Merchants of Amsterdam, players will be building warehouses in order to gain resources, your typical silk, cotton, candy, I don't know, whatever, basically moving along tracks. The active player, or the mayor as the game calls it, will draw 3 cards, and they will have 3 discs in front of them. And when they draw a card, they have to put the card on one of these 3 discs. The mayor disc, which means that the active player or the mayor is going to use that card this turn. The second disc is a discard disc, and the third disc is the auction disc, and this is where the auction clock comes into play. The mayor will set a timer. The timer has an arm that ticks down, almost like an egg timer, and it will point at different monetary values. And when the clock reaches a monetary value that a player is willing to pay for the card that's up for auction, they slap the timer and it stops the clock, and then that player will pay that amount of money for the card and they get to play the card. And it's really interesting though, because all the players are kind of playing this weird backwards game of chicken, where you could sure slap the timer right away to ensure that you get that card. However, you're gonna pay out the wazoo for it. But it is definitely the star of the show in Merchants of Amsterdam. You just kind of wind it up, you push the button, it starts ticking, and then players just stare at it with a bead of sweat running down their face. And if you wait too long, somebody will probably smack it and steal it for just a little bit more cash than you were willing to pay for it. But it's a really neat and interesting component. For one, it doesn't take any batteries and is powered by Voodoo or something, I guess. So this one goes out to you, Rio Grande Games and Merchants of Amsterdam. The auction clock is Beard's component of the week.
What we do here is go back.
All right, folks, we're not going to actually jump into an old school game.
We're not
today, just for oddness of technology and suchness. But this has been
it's been an event-filled board game breakfast.
Yes. Stressful is the word that one might use, but it is always fun to be back. It's always fun to be here with Robot Eric Summerer.
And hopefully we can get this figured out and fixed by next Monday with a spectacular.
Yes. So as we said earlier, right, the spectacular is next week, less than a week from today, because today's not Monday. I keep forgetting that.
That's right.
Eric, why do you have to point out things like this?
Also, don't forget to get your...
It is my job. I enjoy pointing out things to you, Chris and Wendy. This has been a joy talking with you.
eerily good.
That was. I think through the phone made it even better.
Yeah. Like eerily good, Eric.
Thank you.
I laugh at your suffering.
Hey, AI Eric, will you remind everybody about Dice Tower East?
You should sign up for Dice Tower East at dicetowereast.com. Come play games with us, including Chris, Wendy, and Eric.
Alrighty. Well, thanks for joining us today. I'm Wendy Yi.
I'm Chris Yi.
And I'm the fake Eric Summerer.
No, you're the real one.
Aw.
You're the real one. The one that was on the screen earlier, that was the fake
That was
Eric
fake.
Summerer. All right, folks, we'll see you later.